You've been watching a rehearsal of the Parkinson's Chorus of Central Massachusetts. It may surprise you to know that people with Parkinson's have developed a chorus. I'm Dave Russell. I'm a volunteer with the Parkinson's Chorus of Central Massachusetts, and we'd like to share the story. We'll talk about Parkinson's disease, some of its challenges, and the ways in which a group of people with Parkinson's have responded to those challenges. Later in the program, we'll give you some contact information so that you can perhaps become a part of the Parkinson's Chorus. We're very pleased to have with us two guests whose professional practices specialize in Parkinson's disease. Dr. Kara Smith is a neurologist at UMass Medical Worcester. Dr. Kelly Richardson is a researcher at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. She provided the initial study under which the Parkinson's Chorus began. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Dr. Smith, let me ask you, what is Parkinson's disease?
Well, Parkinson's disease is a movement disorder, which means it affects the motions of the body. The most well-recognized features would be a tremor, as well as muscle stiffness and slowness. It affects walking and balance as well. And one of the key features is actually involving the muscles of the mouth and throat, what we would call the vocal apparatus, and this affects one's voice. And the most common way it affects the voice is actually to reduce the volume or the loudness, and we call that hypophonia. So patients with Parkinson's tend to speak very quietly and have a great deal of difficulty projecting their voice. This makes it very hard for them to be heard by loved ones and people in their day-to-day lives that they're trying to have normal conversations with. Other symptoms that it can affect are less well known and may kind of be hidden from an external observer. The probably most hallmark feature would be a tremor, but not all patients have a tremor. Actually, a third of patients will never develop a tremor. There's a whole host of other symptoms that we call the non-motor symptoms. So these are symptoms that don't involve physical symptoms or movements. And these range from a large variety of symptoms involving the mood, such as depression, anxiety, and apathy, symptoms involving the autonomic nervous system, such as constipation and lightheadedness, as well as cognitive impairment. So patients with Parkinson's can develop cognitive decline and dementia. When you combine all of these features together, Parkinson's can really greatly affect one's ability to communicate. And this is one of the most difficult challenges lined up against a patient living with Parkinson's disease.
Dr. Richardson, we've talked some about the functional and physical effects of Parkinson's disease. You initiated a study which looked at communication in Parkinson's and the effect of singing and exercise. Tell us about the background of that study and how was it organized?
Sure, thank you, Dave. The genesis of the study was really rooted in 8 years of professional practice as a speech-language pathologist, primarily working with patients with hypophonia, as Dr. Smith described, or reduced speaking volume, in this clinical group. One of our primary treatment approaches is really focused on one-on-one intervention with the clinician, where we really focus on increasing vocal effort or vocal intensity. One of the problems or limitations with that treatment approach is it's often done one-on-one with a clinician. There are very few opportunities for that group-based dynamic. And we find that a group-based dynamic really lends itself well to a sense of community membership, which I feel is really important with a clinical group such as Parkinson's disease, where they often face a sense of alienation from the world around them. So we started the choral singing group in 2015 with the hopes of improving some of the physical characteristics associated with Parkinson's disease, looking at increasing vocal effort, respiratory support, and respiratory strength, but also creating a fun and inclusive environment for individuals to practice using their voice in a functional capacity. So the study ran for 11 weeks, and we had 10 individuals from the Parkinson's community participate in weekly choral singing sessions. The group met for 90 minutes a week, and they really focused on manipulating prosody, because that is one of the issues that individuals often report facing, is that more monotone voice, working on vocal projection or speaking at a louder volume, and increasing respiratory strength.
After those sessions, What results did you see?
We do have some preliminary data that we can share. We did find that on average, the participants in the choral singing study did speak at a louder volume at the end of the 11-week choral singing program. We also saw improvement in prosody or intonation. And we also saw a better enunciation or better articulatory precision. One of the most profound changes, though, was improvements in quality of life. Patients reported that they felt more included in their community. They felt that they could better cope with the symptoms associated with the disease, and just a general sense of well-being.
Dr. Smith, from your perspective, looking at movement disorders, are there particular patterns of movement with Parkinson's disease or characteristics of Parkinson's that might have an effect on speech and communication?
Absolutely. I mean, every part of Parkinson's can manifest in the voice, in the speech, or in communication. So it's really, I think, a credit to the chorus that we're able to kind of tackle all of those features that are impacting patients' daily experiences. For example, the voice, as Dr. Richardson mentioned, is trained to project louder, more clearly, and with better enunciation based when patients have the opportunity to sing. Second, also as Dr. Richardson mentioned, the chorus participation really promoted a sense of well-being, and it tackled those difficult symptoms of depression, anxiety, apathy that really leads patients to change their self-perception and tend to become more socially isolated in dealing with their Parkinson's disease. Finally, we do think that music might actually impact the brain function of people living with Parkinson's. Parkinson's affects a place in the brain called the basal ganglia, and rhythm and music have a profound effect on that center in the brain. So there's potentially some reason to think that participating in a program where music is brought into one's daily life can actually change some of the main features and the main symptoms of Parkinson's disease.
You've both alluded to the social aspect. The Parkinson's Chorus meets weekly to rehearse and also to practice for some community performances for senior groups throughout our area. What other benefits do you see to the social aspects of engaging in activities such as this?
I mean, I think in Parkinson's, anytime you bring a group of patients together, you immediately get a sense that it's promoting their sense of well-being. I think it really lets patients see what challenges are facing their colleagues or people in their community also suffering with Parkinson's, and allows them to come up with strategies, help one another, support one another, and it's usually a very positive experience. And we see this across the board in research in all types of studies that involve a group. So I think it's really important in Parkinson's to have this type of group dynamic and this type of socialization experience.
Dr. Smith, Dr. Richardson, we thank you very much for being with us and for providing some very helpful and valuable information about Parkinson's disease. We appreciate both your time and your expertise.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Dave.
Find that love. My name is Wendy Driscoll, and I'm 77 years old, and I have been a singer for 70 of those years. You might ask what happened. Well, I started singing when I was a child, and I have been in choirs all my life, church choirs, school choirs. I dreamed about singing in an a cappella choir, and I finally got to do that. And I started a small ensemble, and we traveled around and sang at people's parties. And I just loved making music with the people I loved. And it was sort of my identity for much of my life until I met Parkinson's disease. And I didn't expect this, but one of the places that Parkinson's affected me was in my respiratory system. I expected trembles, and I expected stumbling. I expected a quiet voice, but I didn't expect the loss of voice and the loss of air to be able to support the voice. So 7 years ago, when I was at the peak of the life of a quartet, women's quartet that I had joined, we were singing a cappella music, and we were in concert, and I was suddenly so exhausted that I thought I was going to faint and fall off the stage. And that's when I had to announce that I was retiring from singing, and I couldn't believe it because it had been my life. So I stayed away from singing, thinking that that was a lost function for me, until UMass came along with a study that invited people with Parkinson's to get together and sing and see if that made any difference in our ability to breathe. Well, I did, it worked, and we didn't want to let it go. So when the study was over, those of us who were in the chorus decided we would just keep singing. So that was 4 years ago. And so after stopping, at age 70, 4 years later, I got to kick in again and start singing. And now I go to church and I can sing a full line of the hymn without losing my breath. And I have the fun of singing with joy with my friends again.
My name is Jacqueline Dempsey, and I am giving testimony as to how I feel about this group. I was born 83 years ago. I've had Parkinson's for 18 years, and I don't have tremors, but I have high and low blood pressure every day, and my daycare worker takes care of me every day as well. The choral group gives me such joy. It really does. I wish you would make it. You could come. Our director makes everyone feel or believe that they can They can sing very well. Come join us, you'll find out.
Hello, my name is Helen Chase. I'd like to share with you a little background. When I was 10 years old, the teacher said to me I was to be a soloist. But by the time the concert came around, I was no longer a soloist. I was a chorus, part of a chorus. And here it is, 7 years later, I'm part of the Parkinsons chorus, which I appreciate immensely and helps me to function, and it's the highlight of my week. I love the camaraderie, and my speech has improved.
Hi, my name is Michael Mogul. I'm 66 years old. I have Parkinson's disease, and I found this chorus, and I found it to be a support system that has been fantastic camaraderie and the fantastic people that are members of it. Some of the people have had Parkinson's longer than me. I've been diagnosed only for 2.5 years. And I find that some of the people have been members of other Parkinson support groups, and they've introduced me to those groups and to those people. And it's been a fantastic way to deal with a progressive disease like Parkinson's. And this chorus group in itself works on speech, which is one of the problems Parkies have, is speaking up. And we're also, I wanted to just say that we're very fortunate to have Dave Russell, who's our facilitator, who handles everything to do with the group, and Dennis Coughlin, our music director, who's a real gem and a real fantastic leader who helps all of us individually with our singing and with this group. And that's all I have to say.
Hi, I'm Nadine Hausman, and I'm a Parkinson's caregiver and assistant with the Parkinson's Chorus. I'm here today to provide the testimonial on behalf of Gail McGrail, who is not able to be here. So in Gail's words, Gail says that she was encouraged to join the Parkinson's Chorus by a wonderful friend, Elaine, who's a member of the Congregational Church in Shrewsbury. Elaine and I meet weekly at the YMCA water aerobics, and she insisted that I give the chorus a try. The Parkinson's Chorus has given me so much. First, I love to sing, and I've thoroughly enjoyed going to rehearsals and participating in the performances. Parkinson's patients must keep their voices strong, and the chorus has strengthened my voice and my musical skills. The chorus also provides an opportunity for members to support each other in the different experiences that constitute Parkinson's. My fellow members have become my role models on how to face this affliction with grace, strength, and joy.
Hello. My name is Cricket, and I'm a member of the Parkinson's Chorus in Shrewsbury. Parkinson's takes away many of the abilities we used to take for granted. The ability to speak becomes diminished. I was never a singer, except in the car in the shower. I came to the Parkinson's Chorus because studies at UMass had indicated that participation could help in the projection of voices and in breathing. In chorus, we do breathing exercises, tongue twisters, and of course, we sing. We are blessed that the community church has given us space in which to practice. We have a pianist, and we have input from a retired speech therapist, It is especially lovely and uplifting to have a space that is not in a medical facility. Trust me, we have enough of that. We are supported by a terrific and talented music director who believes in us and helps us believe in ourselves and makes us laugh. Parkinson's Chorus is mutual support, camaraderie, and friendship. We sing upbeat songs, and the lyrics linger in your mind throughout the week. Once a week, we meet to make a joyful noise and celebrate what we are still able to do. I, for one, am grateful.